If you're tired of seeing the same old videos that show brands that you've heard of a million times, I'm talking about the
Patagonias, Robert Graham's, Cool, Arc'teryx, those types of things.
You came to the right place. These are not so common brands that sell on eBay. My name's Sean, I'm a full-time clothing eBay reseller, and I have found these probably a handful of times throughout the years. They sell really well. Some of them sell really fast, some of them sell for an extremely good amount of money, but the most important thing is all these sell well, and there's something to look out for. This is Mott & Bow. Mott & Bow is a pretty simple tag. It's just the name. With those, it seems like they're so subtle and simple because they know the quality speaks for themselves. These are just a pair of jeans. You can see here, this one sold for $65 plus shipping, and they range from like, you know, low ends 40, high ends 60, 70. If they have stains, you can still get some good money out of this, which goes for most of the brands in this list. Even if it's damaged, you have a chance to make a sale on it. Next up is Sweat Taylor. Now they have a couple plays on words here. They don't have sweat spelled S-W-E-A-T, they have it S-W-E-T. And then Taylor, they don't spell it like my name, but they spell it like a tailor of clothing, which is interesting. This was a pair of jeans. It sold for $39 plus shipping. Don't find it very often, and once again, it has a pretty basic tag concept, but it does have the play on words. It's a pretty easy one to kind of look over because you could think this is just kind of basic, but these sell really well. Carbon. Now Carbon, in my understanding, it's kind of like, I think, an outdoorsy winter type brand, but I think it also aligns with like motocross and some of those sports. Now, this is the aviator jacket. I actually have one of these listed in my store. This one sold for around $200. I'm not sure what the exact offer is. What I can tell you is when you pick up a piece of clothing from this brand, it's extremely durable. It feels good. You can tell the quality in certain items, not necessarily based on the weight, but just the feel in general. And when you look closely at some of the detailings, you can tell a lot of time and patience was put into making these items. This next one is Noble. Noble is synonymous with CrossFit, and you're gonna find a lot of activewear in this brand. I found sweatshirts in this brand, I found t-shirts, I found shoes, but this one is a simple sleeveless hooded pullover. Now, these sleeveless hoodies can go for a lot of money in other brands, but especially in Noble, this one went for almost 60 bucks, which is really good because the shirt's missing sleeves and you're paying for less of a shirt, but it's a style and it's a brand people are looking for. I'm gonna butcher many names in this because these are not all like Americanized names. A lot of these are foreign brands, and this is one. It's called Issa. I think it's called Issa. Anyway, these shirts are really good. I am a top seller in the casual button-downs category on eBay, probably the top 25. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but this is a shirt that sticks out for me. I think I found a handful of them this year. These are also a very basic tag concept. What I mean by like a basic tag concept is the coloring is pretty basic, and then it's either one or two words. And you'll see a lot of off brands. I call them off brands because it's like copycat brands, and they try to mimic these like verbatim, and it's easy to look past if you don't know what you're looking at. So this one here sold upwards to $80 just for a long sleeve button down, and it doesn't feel any crazy, you know, like Lululemon is an example of an item that feels different. This one does not feel different. You would probably just pass this up if you didn't know that this brand sold for a lot of money. Next is Birdwell Beach Breeches. This has got the alliteration going with the bees, and I've only found these in swim trunks. I cannot recall finding them in anything else, but this is an example of a limited edition one going for $129 plus shipping, which is absolutely ridiculous. And when you look at the tag is crazy. Like, you cannot miss this tag if you've seen it a couple times because it sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's huge. So that's kind of what I mean by the difference when it's like a simple kind of under the radar tag and then one that's a little bit louder like this one. Here's Johnson Woolen Mills. Now, Johnson Woolen Mills, I've only found one or two of these vests. Usually they're like Western styles, 100% wool, very basic. This almost looks like Christmas time with the tag, but these vests can go for a lot of money, easily 50 plus on most of them, but this one went for $79.99 plus shipping. And I just pulled these comps from the internet. It's a little harder to go through the store for each one of these. It's a lot quicker just to kind of pull some of these. It also gives me a chance to see other styles that have sold with this brand. So Woolen & Mills, it's usually going to be vintage, and they're usually going to be like Western themed. Next up, we have Wild Things Tactical, or WT Tactical. Now, I just came across this brand for the very first time. I found a Gore-Tex jacket. It was a size small. The zipper ended up being broken, and it had multiple stains on it, and I still sold it for $50. This one, it was a much better print. It's the multicam print, and it's sold for like upwards of $300, which is absolutely ridiculous. Right off the rip though, you're going to see Gore-Tex, or you're going to see some type of just good quality material with this jacket, and these are highly desirable. Most of the items on this list are going to be highly desirable, but just looking at the tag of WT Tactical, you may not know, and it may not even pull up in the search. Sometimes you have to have like the full title or like one specific aspect of the title to figure out, you know, what it actually sells for. So this is going to be a good one. And another thing to point out is tactical is such a commonly used keyword on like titles for eBay. So if you did put WT Tactical, you might find one of these shirts, but Wild Things Tactical, you're absolutely going to find it. Next we have Gussin. Gussin is usually going to be Japanese selvage. It's a pair of jeans. These are going to feel a bit different. It has a very simple tag with just its name with the white border, which in my opinion, if you see white bordering with a lettering just for a name, it's usually not that good. This one is exceptional. You will be able to tell the difference because the denim will feel a little bit more stiff. You can roll up the cuff, I call cuff because of the long sleeves, but like the bottom leg opening, roll it up and see the inside red stitching, and that's going to tell you that it's selvage. These jeans can range in price. This one was upwards to $100. Sometimes you can sell them for like $60, and then some of them go for like $200 even. This next one is tobacco moto wear flannel. So tobacco, I instantly thought of obviously like cigarettes and chewed tobacco, and then it said moto wear. I had no idea what this tag was. I didn't know what this brand was, but I found 3 or 4 of these at the same thrift store all bunched up together, and these sold really well. This one went for $46 plus the shipping. You can sell them closer to like, you know, $60, but it's kind of capped out around $50, $60. I think a lot of it has to do with coloring. This one did have yellow, which isn't like the best color for men to sell, but if you find like, you know, your blacks, your blues, your reds, you're going to be able to sell it for better money. Next up, we have King Ranch. Now, King Ranch, I may have mentioned it before a couple times. It's not like the biggest seller, but it is one that sells really well. It'll have a bunch of W's printed all over like the tag and sometimes all over print of the shirt. This was just a plaid shirt, sold for $30 plus shipping, so you're talking about $40 on a button-up, which in my opinion is like a home run. A lot of button-ups I sell are in like the $18 to $25 range, so anything over $40 is a good pickup for me. King Ranch, you're going to find it in some of like your southern states, more of like your cowboy type stores. I'm sure Cavender's is a store that would sell this one, and a lot of this does have to do with what stores sell retail items of these in your area is what you're going to find in the thrift store. Now, if you find, I'll call it like an imported brand, that means it doesn't sell locally, but somebody moved to your area and then that donation came in, or possibly the thrift store bought a truck of, you know, donated goods from somebody else from a different part of the country, and then you're able to get those in your store. So it's always important to have this like Rolodex of brands, because just because it's not sold in your store retail wise, you could come across it in the thrift, and if you don't have this knowledge, you're going to skip over it, and then somebody else is going to be able to pick it up. Poncho. This is another one of those very simple brands. I did not know Poncho was so good. This is a long sleeve like flannel, sold for $70 plus shipping, which is just outrageous for anything like that to sell. I mean, you're thinking of Dixon, you know, flannel to sell for like that much money, but even those have kind of fallen off. Poncho, to my knowledge, has not fallen off yet. And, you know, I haven't spent years making like a manifesto of sorts with these brands, but I can tell you that this one is always sold for me, and hopefully it continues to do so. But there is a lifespan for certain brands, and so far this one is in the healthy range of reselling potential. State and Liberty. Now this is the sleeper of all sleepers. This is only going to have an S and the and sign and an L stitched at the bottom of the shirt, and that's the only way you're going to know how to look it up. And if you put S and L in eBay, I don't think it comes up. You're going to have to put State and Liberty. Such a sleeper in the thrift. These are very basic looking shirts. It almost looks like those shirts that people get custom made, where it's like it'll say maybe GRT, or I think it's the person's initials stitched on the inside of the shirt. And I don't think those go for that much money, but this is what it reminds me of, because it's just so basic, no tags in sight, but you are going to be able to see like the stitching, and then I think it just says like 17 or 16 for the size, and that's all you're going to see on it. This is Dye Core Division. So Dye is a paintball brand. Now, when I was an everything seller, paintball guns were a pretty easy come up because it's an expensive sport, and these jerseys are no different. They sell for like $30 to $40 to $50, just depending on which one you pick up. and which color it is. The blue ones and the red ones are going to be good sellers, and these are going to be in like the jersey category. Ministry of Supply. Ministry of Supply is another very simple brand. It's almost like a trend, right? And the problem with the trend of like a simple tag is because it's almost like that clean, what was the big thing that came across, like a minimalist type tag, right? But a lot of different fast fashion copied this method, so it's very hard to distinguish. Ministry of Supply is one where you can kind of feel the quality difference. It's not quite selvage to my knowledge, but you are going to find a lot of good ones in this brand. You can even sell some of their like polos for like 40 to 50 bucks, and then their jeans, of course, like this one, 59 plus shipping. So when it comes to these brands, it's not just the category that I pull up in this comp. It can also be like tops or bottoms. I just pulled up ones that I thought were kind of cool and just really good sales. So definitely don't sleep on the like tops for Ministry of Supply. Some of these items I've paid, you know, 10, 15, 20, $25 for, because I know that the condition was right, and I know that I don't see these very often. But at the same time, when I'm saying that, is a lot of thrift stores also don't know about these brands. So that means you can sometimes find them, especially like the State and Liberty is one that a lot of them don't know about. Helicon Tex. Now, this is a pretty awesome brand. It says designed in Poland, but it's going to be like a military style. This is a pair of cargo shorts. Now, it was brand new and it sold for over $100, which is incredible, but everything I've found in this brand have sold well. I typically do find the cargo shorts. I know they have pants as well, but it's going to be like that tactical style. And it's interesting because it has the same type of tag feel as the Wild Things tactical brand. So it seems like they, you know their competition, but they bring good materials to the market, and they bring good styles that people are looking for. Like I said before, anytime I found this, it has sold well. Jet Lag, maybe one of my favorite ones to talk about and pick up, just because I think it's a cool name. Jet Lag, I didn't know if it was like an airplane company at first, or what the deal was, or it's like if you have jet lag, you need to be casual, but these are definitely like kind of oversized cargo shorts that I found. I don't know if they sell other like categories, because I've only found them in cargo shorts, but every time I found them, even if like the button is missing, I've been able to sell them. The floral ones are definitely the best ones. These are 65 plus shipping, but even like just the beige, like common color ones, those are going to sell for good money too. All Saints is a crusher of a brand. It seems kind of cheap in the tag. I mean, I know they put the trees on there, and then when you read All Saints, like, what does that really even say to you? Maybe something biblical or spiritual, I'm not sure, but I can tell you, like, this jacket here sold brand new $449. I think this is a look that I've seen on either some like rap artist or something, and I don't know if rap artist is the correct way. I usually say rapper, but now I start to think that rapper is like Christmas wrapping paper, so like rap artist. But anyway, these All Saints, I've sold their short sleeve button shirts, long sleeve button shirts. I found some of their jeans. It's a tremendous brand. Everything in this brand sells well, but I came across this jacket when I was looking it up, and I was blown away with how expensive this jacket is, because it just looks like a leather jacket with a hood. But hey, Pins and Aces. So there are quite a bit of golfers in the area that I source. Pins and Aces is a pretty incredible brand. I've only found a few Pins and Aces. It's usually geometric prints that I find in this brand, and they always sell well. Now, geometric prints can sell well in some of the lower end brands. These ones are typically $50+ polos. Love to see them. G4 was a new one for me. I was looking over some golf shirts, and I was like, surprised to see this one. I've yet to pick it up in the thrift store, but I needed to throw it in here because it seems pretty rare. It's got somewhat of a basic tag. This one, it's a geometric polo shirt, went for $119. Someone sent an offer, but still, that's a extremely good sale for a polo shirt. A lot of the golf brands do have golf incorporated like slogans for their brand, like G4, and then you're going to see one later in this video, but and even Pins and Aces, right? I mean, it all kind of flows a little bit with the golf theme. These are always going to have really cool looks to them. I'm not sure if they sell them in solid colors. I think if someone's spending this kind of money, they're going to go for the more creative looking ones, but I'm sure the solid ones would sell just as well. This is Cageus. I'm not sure exactly Cageus, if it's like an outdoor brand. Usually with Cageus, I'll find really sleek, kind of modern looking clothing, and I always equate it to like I don't know, people that live in the Netherlands, I feel like would have this type of clothing. I think European sizing, like this one says 54XL. These sell for a lot of money. I mean, this is like just a track jacket, but I've also found some of their vests, and I've also found like quarter zips in this brand. And this one sold for an extremely like high amount. I haven't sold anything this high in cages, but every time I've sold cages, it's sold. And this is one of those that sell with stains on it as well. This is Brioni. I threw Brioni in here just because I'm just hoping to find one day, but Brioni is a very luxurious brand. This is a dress shirt that sold for $200. You know, if you see Brioni, just pick it up. If it's torn half to shreds, it's probably still going to be worth something just because it's so desirable and it's so high end. I would put this in the category of like Gucci or Louis Vuitton, those types of things. Followed right up with Loro Piana. So Loro Piana is going to be in the same category. I mean, I don't even know what to say other than like, please let me find one of these sometimes in my thrifting life. I would love to. And trust me, when I do, you guys are going to hear about it. The best things I've found is like, I have found Gucci, I found Purple Label, I found Robert Graham limited edition, but I've yet to come across like these two that I just mentioned. The Loro Piana is, it's a luxurious brand. I don't know if a lot of those people in my area are wearing that, but I hope to find one day. This is Bad Birdie. Probably should have put this with the G4 and the other golf brands, but Bad Birdie is a sweet polo. I've only found one of these. These are going to be good sellers. This is the geometric one. It's crazy looking. Bad Birdie sounds kind of ridiculous of a brand. It just seems like why take it serious? But I think they have the confidence and they have the money backing and just design power to call their brand Bad Birdie and still be able to make sales. $74.99 plus shipping for a golf polo, like that's incredible. Last but not least, I have Mercer and Sons. Mercer and Sons is one that it's not like a busy title, but it has a lot of like words on it. This is a shirt makers. Kind of looks like Brooks Brothers a little bit, but this one sells for a lot more than any of those brands. I haven't sold a Mercer and Sons for less than $50 plus shipping. This one went for a lot higher, I guess because it was vintage, but I don't know. Maybe I cheap sold mine a little bit. I can just tell you, if you find this, you're going to make some money on it. Hole stains, all that good stuff. This is going to sell. People are really interested in Mercer and Sons. That wraps up the top 25 not so common brands. You know, these are just my not so common brands. Maybe there's some of you out there that knew every single one of these, and maybe there's some of you out there that you've seen this in the thrift store and you didn't pick it up because you just weren't sure. Now, hopefully you can be sure to pick it up, make a little bit of money. Please leave a comment if you did know a lot of these brands, or if you didn't, or if you're just happy that you saw this video today. If you did, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.